What's up, y'all? Welcome to another successful Sundays. I wish I had one of those horns that go. "Ba, ba, ba, ba." Welcome, 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 and I hope you're doing well. Um, you know, this week has been heavy for many of us with the way the world is moving and things have been changing. So before we get right into it, we're just gonna take in three deep breaths because at the end of the day, self care is extremely important. So we're just going to take in three deep breaths to just clear the energy, and then we're going to get right into the topic. So breathe in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. One more time, in through your nose, sigh it out through your mouth. One more time, in through your nose, sigh it out through your mouth. Yes, and while you're at it, unclench your jaw, relax your forehead, because successful Sundays is also self care. And in the season that we're in, it's important that we practice self care to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, right? So now that we've kind of gotten the energy nice and cleared up, we're going to be diving into a topic. I give you seven things to let go in order to level up in this season, right? We're still at the beginning of the year, we're still in the first quarter. And even if you haven't started, if you've been sick like myself, dealing with different things, you may feel like you're delayed. But if I could just say this to give yourself more grace, you're right on time. You feel me? If you still have your goals and your desires and your dreams in mind, you're not late. You're still working towards it. Life is life in, you feel me? So if you've been sick or going through family stuff, just understand to give yourself more grace and still get at it and still work at it. So I'm going to start off with all of them are important. There's seven total. And if you can, take notes if you'd like. If not, save this and come back. And also think about some things you want to let go in order to level up in your own self improvement and personal growth and healing chapter. But I'm going to start off with number one, which is stop saying yes when you really want to say no. Because you could be overcommitting, overexerting yourself. And I want you to think of yourself sometimes like an elastic band. At some point when you keep pulling on it, it either will slap back and hit you in the face if you keep pulling at a lie, playing with the elastic band, or eventually it breaks, right? And it's important to just start saying no by honoring you. Not You're not saying no to hurt anyone's feelings or to be disrespectful or to upset them. The whole point of you saying no in this season is honoring yourself and taking care of you, because sometimes saying no is self-care. And you could start, like, a way you could do it is just saying no in, like, the mirror. That's how I kind of did it a little bit. And just kind of way to practice when those hard and difficult moments do come. Also understand that you're saying no, how should I would it, to align yourself with the goals that you're trying to go after, right? Like the values, saying no without guilt, which is tricky and it's difficult, especially if you've been people pleasing for far too long. It is very tricky for you to stop saying no. But the more that you do it, the more you'll find ease towards it because it's taking care of you in the entire process, right? And just think about it also this way, like every no to others is you saying yes to yourself in the present moment, but also in the past, in those moments when you really, really wanted to say no and you didn't because you felt as if like you felt the guilt of saying no because it was tied with your people pleasing. So that's the first one. Number two is to start living your life with intention. So living without intention is number two. Go after your life with pure intention, because I learned personally by putting intention about everything that I do, the smallest, the biggest things, is honoring my future self. My future self knows exactly what I need to do to get there. And I see her as clear as day. But sometimes we forget how to put intention behind everything. We just say like previously, we're just going to do this. But if you start putting intention behind the things that you're going after in your life, you will see like it blossom. You'll see like it grows even more. Certain parts of your life, not just professionally, but personally as well, it will grow and blossom in a beautiful, beautiful way. And one way you could do that, and I have this on my vision board and it's labeled, it's a picture. I'm not going to tell you of what, but it's my why. Figure out what your why is. What is your actual why? And it's not too late to also add this to your vision board if you haven't already. Or if you even haven't even started on your vision board, you can add this to the list of things to do. But think about and identify what your why is and set daily intentions to work towards and align with your values of that why. Like, why is this so important to you this year or this quarter? And now just keep working towards it, the 1% every day. And a way that you could also do is ask yourself this question: what is the one thing you can do today? Because remember, we're focusing on it per day. So you can even start this week. What is one thing you could do today to move yourself closer to said goal or closer to your dreams or your desires? What's one thing you could put intention behind to get even closer to it? And that's number two. Number three, we kind of briefly discussed the number one, which is overcommitting. I have a problem with that sometimes. Being an entrepreneur and having other responsibilities as well, I could say, yeah, I can make it, I can make it. And then by the end of it or by the end of the week, I'm so exhausted. So exhausted. Kind of it relates to number one is of saying no, because you're taking care of yourself when you say no. So a way you could do it, and my mentor helped me out with this. And I think I spoke about this as well when we talked about non-negotiables in one of the weeks of our Successful Sunday. So you can go back and check it out. But and don't forget to subscribe as well, so you never miss another Successful Sunday. But on a sheet of paper, you just draw a cross, and there should be four quadrants in each. And it first quarter, January to March, and then so on and so forth. In each quadrant, you write down your non-negotiables of the things that you have that are important to come up. I'm gonna actually link uh, a PDF that you could download for free, so you can do this exercise. And in each quadrant, you write what's not non-negotiable. So, for example, my birthday, non-negotiable. I ain't doing nothing, but I put it there so that I can remind myself, so that I don't overcommit to things that could take me away from enjoying that week. If you have a vacation, anniversary, certain days that you just want to do nothing, it's good to just break it down in those four quadrants, because it'll be 4 quarters in the year. So this way you're not overcommitting all the time. And also, don't be afraid as an entrepreneur or a working professional, don't be afraid to say, look, I can't do it this time, but hey, are you available on a later date? Give an option. You don't have to just say yes because they're available. Perhaps they do have later dates to meet up or to work with someone or whatever the case is that you're trying to not overcommit to, whether it's a class or something, you know what I mean? Like, look at other options. Don't always think that you have to stick to the one option that's in front of you. So what I would do is also create a non-negotiable list too. So once you have before you do the quadrants, it's good to also create a non-negotiable list. Another way that you could also figure out what are some of the things that are drawn towards also your values is doing the Ikigai. It's a great book as well. I've kind of talked about the Libby app. If you don't know, get a library book, take the book out, or use the audiobook. We we're in the season of free in 2025, so so it's good to have these resources and use them. Um, but also going back to number two is plan everything you do with intention. So that's why the quadrants is important. So you go through each quadrant, each quarter of the year, and you're planning everything with intention. Don't be afraid to move things around. But your non-negotiables that specifically take care of you, I feel like don't even move those. Keep them right where they are. Number four, no more procrastination, guys. Especially when you know what you have to do to get where you want to go. Let's talk about that for a quick second. Those are sometimes the dangerous people, most dangerous people to be around when you're growing. The people who know they need to do better but choose not to. They know the steps to take, but they just choose not to take them. Sometimes it's dangerous to be around them because they will try to drag you down. Not all of them, but some, right? At the same time, for yourself, when it comes to procrastination, don't, and actually I'm gonna talk about this more towards the end as well as a word for us to have, but focus on the goal. Focus on why you're doing it. Put things off delays your success. Think about that and creates unnecessary stress for you because then you start feeling, oh my God, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I know I'm supposed to be working on X, Y, and Z, but I'm not. And it constantly puts that stress on towards your goals that you're working towards to achieve. What you can do, break down your task into smaller ones. So break down your steps into micro steps. Instead of, okay, you have a list of things you want to do this quarter, break them down per month, break them down per week, and break them down per day so that you're just working towards it all the time. But you're not feeling overwhelmed that you're like constantly missing out. Now, I'm gonna give you an example. Some people I know, they work out for an hour. I get up at 6 a.m., I work out for 30 minutes. But I work out for 30 minutes, but 4 to 5 days a week. My first aim, to be fair, was 2 to 3, but now it's 4 to 5. I'm in a momentum, so I'm allowing it to happen. I'm in a nice drive, so it's happening. And instead of me doing like an hour, like some days I do have hour workouts, but instead of me focusing on that hour, I'm like, yo, 30 minutes. 30 minutes is just because it's something. And that's still my 1% for that day. So don't focus on so much of like taking a big leap. It's okay to take a step. You don't have to focus on taking a massive leap. The micro steps are just as important as those big leaps that you may take sometimes. And also think about the 2-minute rule. If it if it takes less than 2 minutes, just do it now and get it over with. Get it over with. Like, just do it and get it out the way, and then focus on what you need to focus on. And you can also set timers. I do that all the time. I'll say, yo, I'm going to set a timer for an hour and I'm just going to hone in and work on it. Cell phone's in a different room, and we're just going to focus on what we need to focus on. Unless I need my cell phone, obviously, right? So I'm going to give you a small challenge with that, which is identify one task right now this week, write it down, think about it. What is one task that you've been avoiding for the longest time? And what is one step that you could start taking either today or even tomorrow? What is one task that you've been avoiding? And how can you start taking your power on that and taking the first step today? So I want you to think about that. So number 5, all of us kind of do it, but the less that you do this and you stop doing it, you're freeing yourself up, which is stop comparing. Especially when it comes towards what another person's doing, where another person's at, uh, if even if you don't know them. And I'm regarding that towards like social media because your comparison is not only stealing your joy, but it's stealing your time. Because I know that saying, comparison is a thief of joy, but comparison is also a thief of your time. Because the time that you're sitting there and you're worrying about what another person is doing, it's stealing from you working and focusing on you and focus on what the tasks you have and the dreams and stuff that you want to go towards, the goals that you've been thinking about for months, years. And the more that you focus on what another person has, it steals. So a couple ways that you could do it is start celebrating all of your successes, big, small, don't make a difference. And I mean, just even progress, the steps that you've taken, and you could take a look back and be like, oh, I didn't react the same way, or I'm moving different on in this area, personal or professional, doesn't matter. Again, also, I've talked about it a bit, but social media, try to limit how much time you're using on it. Start setting the timers. There's reminders you can use on your phone in your settings. Go find them. I have mine on Apple. After a certain amount of hours, I don't have access to social media, which is fine by me. And just know like your journey is unique. We all have our own unique journey. And whatever our path is, the mold that has been created for our path is broken. Everybody's story is different. So don't focus on what another person have because their chapter is far different from yours. Their book is far different from yours. And remember that comparison not only steals uh is a thief of joy, but it's also a thief of time. Number 6, stop surrounding yourself with negative energy. Yeah. Well, toxic environments can hinder your growth more to it makes it harder for you to grow, right? Like it hinders your growth, it shifts your mindset, it drains your positivity. And I know maybe you're living in it, but try your best to maintain your own positive energy in this chapter. A couple of ways you could do that, and it's tricky. Everything that I'm the solutions I'm giving you, I understand that it's not always so simplistic, but with practice, you'll feel like you're gaining your power back and you'll never want to turn back. I'm telling you, you're never going to want to turn back. One of the things that you can do is set boundaries with negative people. Another one is start seeking energies that are positive in like positive environments, whether it's meetups, whether it's groups, whatever you have to do. Start positioning yourself in positive energy environments. Start eliminating yourself out of the negative, because once you're kind of stuck in it, it's very tricky to come out. So if you start removing yourself from that negative environment and placing yourself in a positive one, you'll start seeing the growth over time and you'll start feeling a whole lot better over time. And it does take time. You know, this is a marathon, it's not a race. Self-improvement is a marathon. It's definitely not a race. It's not a 100-meter race. It's like a full-on marathon. So give yourself grace in those moments as well. And one way you could also do it, and when I used to work in retail, we used to do audits. So if you've worked in retail, you know what that's like. Audit your circle. Audit your circle. Maybe part of the people in your circle right now are a little bit on a negative end because they're going through something. You could offer, resources or, your time a bit, but also be cautious. And if you have to, just create a little bit of a space, bit of a distance to protect yourself. And don't feel also guilty for doing that either. All right. And lastly, um, avoid avoid restful moments. Sorry, not avoid them. You want to let go of this. Yes. So avoiding restful moments. Rest is not a thing that you earn. It's an automatic like necessity. And even when you're resting, you're being productive. Contrary to what people may say, like, oh, you're being lazy, blah, blah, blah. No, no, you're actually being extremely productive, because I want you to think about it this way. If you are not taking care of you, no one else is going to do it for you. But whatever cups you have to pour into, you're going to be pouring from bare bones. And I know we all know what that feels like because we've done it. And sometimes it's just like almost like a survival mode. We have to do what we have to do. But if you start taking care of you and you start prioritizing your rest as a non-negotiable, you will feel such a beautiful feeling of when you have to do said tasks, because now you're rested. Like, I want you to think about it. When you get up and you only slept for, let's say, 4 or 5 hours. I've done this. And then you try to go to work, or you try to work in your business, or you try to take care of the kids. How are you feeling? You are miserable. Naturally, you're miserable. But when you actually get a good night's sleep, you hop out of bed like you had a double shot of espresso. Like you got energy for days. So I say that to not just prioritize your sleep, but prioritize the days of rest. Make sure you have a day where you're taking care of yourself, and create that also in your household where everyone's just like, yo, this day is a day we just chill. We're just resting. We have a couple events to do, but there's a moment where we're just resting, because overworking without rest can lead to burnout and a lot of health complications. I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to get too much into it. But if you start embracing the moments of just, okay, I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna have moments of just me time. I'm gonna encourage my family to do it, my friends or whatever. It starts building a discipline of rest, because we need it. The last thing you want to do is be forced. That's why I say rest is a complete necessity. The last thing you ever want to do is be forced. So I want to leave you with like a closing thought. Those are the 7 things that you need to let go to level up in this chapter with this personal professional. But I want to leave you with this. I had a thought earlier. And when you're working on your non-negotiables or things that you want to let go, you're going to have moods when you don't feel like doing a damn thing. But in order to actually get to where you want to go, you got to let your moods leave the conversation. Don't let your moods control the trajectory, the outcome or the timing of your goals, dreams, and desire. Show up for yourself consistently, even when it's hard. All right. So I want to just say thank you for taking the time today to hopping on this, and in the comments below, like, share one thing that you're willing to release to level up for yourself in this chapter. And don't forget, next week, Dope Life Podcast comes out on Tuesday. We have a dope topic, and I hope to get some words from you. And just write in the comments. Let's interact with each other. And I will see you next Sunday. Yes. Sorry. I was trying to remember because there's one particular Sunday that it is canceled, and I will definitely let you guys know. But I'll see you next Sunday. And as always, y'all, walk with peace. And I hope that you said it, but I'll say it for you. Walk with love.